In this video, I show you how I fly the Imperial Raider Class Corvette.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
As usual, there is two variants. The first one being the Raider 1 Class Corvette on the left. Comes in at 44 points. At speed 4, it comes with an officer slot, a weapons team slot, an offensive retrofit, and an ordnance slot. It has 2 shields all round, comes with a brace and 2 evade tokens, and the dice out the front is 2 blues, 2 blacks. On either side is 1 blue and 1 black, and on the rear it throws 1 blue dice. It also has an anti-squadron value of 2 black dice. Over on the right we have a Raider 2 Class Corvette, which is exactly the same as the Raider 1, except it comes in at 48 points. It has an ion cannon slot instead of an ordnance slot. Its anti-squadron dice is 1 blue and 1 black rather than 2 blacks. And the dice out the front is 3 blues and 1 black rather than 2 blues and 2 blacks on the Raider 1. I'm going to tell you straight up now that I don't personally fly a Raider 2, and most of this video will be about the Raider 1. And this is simply because the ordnance slot is simply much more useful than the ion cannon slot on the Raider 2. And it's cheaper. Alright, let's talk upgrades. First off, ordnance experts for your weapons team slot. This is a definite auto include when you take a Raider Corvette. Always take ordnance experts. And that's because these guys throw a lot of black dice. I mean, check this out. Out the side here, alright, each of these squadrons get an attack. So first A-wing, alright, you didn't get 2 damage. Let's re-roll that of ordnance experts. Oh look, we've got 2. Next one, alright, re-roll with ordnance experts, 2 damage. Next one, oh look, we've got 2 blanks. Let's re-roll. Now we've got 2 damage again. So all these A-wings took 2 damage. Then we go out the front. We can shoot this hammerhead into the rear. Alright, got an accuracy, got a hit there. We can re-roll this one because it's a blank and it's a hit crit. So a cheap anti-squadron build for the Raider, you'll have ordnance experts and maybe flechette torpedoes. So what flechette torpedoes let you do is you roll your anti-squadron dice, say against this Tycho Selchie here, right? You roll that, and then you can spend the critical to deal 1 damage to him and also toggle him so he can't activate on his turn. So if you have points left over and you want to spend them killing enemy squadrons, you can buy either the 2 titles. So you have Impetuous, which lets the Raider attack 1 other squadron again after the attack step. You have Instigator, which treats enemy squadrons at distance 1 as being engaged, regardless if they have intel or grit. So this means they essentially can't move away from the Raider. Or you have Agent Callus, who takes up your officer slot, and he adds 1 dice of any color if you're attacking a unique squadron. If you're looking for a cheap way to threaten ships, then assault proton torpedoes paired up with ordnance experts is a good way to get the job done. If you're looking for a more all-round kind of build, then you can replace the assault proton torpedoes with external racks, and this allows you to discard external racks while you're attacking and add 2 black dice to the attack. Keep in mind that the attack doesn't have to be against ships, it could also be against 1 squadron. So let's say you had nothing else to shoot at the rest of this game. There's this A-wing that's in the way. You attack it, 2 dice, right? And then you go external racks. Alright, and then we re-roll this because of ordnance experts. 4 damage. We've essentially destroyed 1 A-wing in 1 attack. Or we can totally unload on this Corvette out here. Alright, so front to side. Cool. And then we do external racks. And so we have there an axis, so no redirect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and then this Corvette's now on 1 hull. But because I'm a gambling man, I'm going to try to re-roll some black dice here with ordnance experts to try to push out an extra damage and outright destroy this Corvette. So let's see how we go. Let's see, so that's, yep, more than enough. Destroyed Corvette. Alright, when you fly these things, they'll start off on mostly speed 2, because if you look at the chart there, these things turn on a dime at speed 2. 2 clicks at 1 and 2 clicks at 2. This means it can virtually do a right angle turn like that. Also, being a command 1 ship, you also want to do a navigate command most of the time. On turn 1, bank a navigate token. And if you watch the last video, this gives you the ability to jump from speed 2 to anywhere to speed 4 or speed 3, depending on the situation. For instance, you might see the opportunity to last this hammerhead right here. So you'll be doing a navigate, plus the token, 2 speed, go from speed 2 to speed 4. Boom. And then, as per the last video, you'll activate the Raider first and most likely wipe out that hammerhead. Raiders are also good at blocking big ships like MC-80s. So at speed 2, they can get out of trouble from the MC-80 side arc, fly there, and essentially block an MC-80 while doing heaps of damage to it. Obviously, if you're up against an ISD, you don't want to park it in the front, you want to park it in the side. So if you manage to pull off the correct block, this is probably the one time you'd actually use concentrate fire. So just to demonstrate how much damage you can do. Right, so let's go side arc first into this MC-80 here. Boom. Alright, 3 damage. I would probably use external racks here. And alright, so that's what's this? 6 damage. I would concentrate on this into this one. And we've gone to 7, so I've moved on to the next brace bracket. This MC-80 would brace it down to 4, and then probably redirect it back over here. Alright, now we'll do our front. Alright, so front to front. Alright, so we've got a blank here, so it's Ordnance Experts that, and we've got a hit crit. So we've got 2 hit crits for 4 damage, 5, 6 damage. Well, that's pretty tough for the MC-80, so they'll probably discard brace, right? And then brace it down to 3, probably use redirect to the other side, push it down to 1 there. All right, so now this MC-80 has 2 exhausted redirects, no brace, has no shields on one side, 1 shield on the other, and now's your movement. You're speed 2, so you'll work it out so you wouldn't have to go past into the sides and you just stay where you are. So you do another hull damage. And that's worth it for a 44-point ship. Considering that this thing is 114 points before upgrades, and when it attacks you back, it only has 2 reds and a blue. But let's talk about what the Raider is really for, and that's for killing squadrons. So what will happen is you'll generally see a blob of squadrons like this here. So what you want to do is drive your Raider in such a way that it ends up in the sides of the blob. And remember to turn in, because turning in allows you to get the double arc. So let's see here, so obviously I'll be doing a nav, speed 2. I'm going to pre-measure using this. Okay, so I'm going to do the amazing inside turn with the nav. So we'll go from speed 2 to speed 3. End up there. Alright, and if we look, we end up with a double arc on Tycho and 1 other A-wing. Now, it's very important, before you do a move like this, make sure you do it against squadrons that have already activated. That's simply because if you do this against unactivated squadrons, they'll just simply activate and attack your radar. Now I know what you're thinking, what if I have, say, quad laser turrets and Agent Callus? Trust me, it's not worth it. The counter one is only a blue dice and you have no way of re-rolling it. And I'll stress another point, if you're going to drive into the blob, it's probably better to be first player or have some sort of means to first last. So why don't you want to drive into the ball? Now, driving into the ball means that if you overlap any of those squadrons, so let's say this Raider will land here, so it will land on these 3 A-wings, the opponent gets to place them in base contact with your Raider. So a savvy commander would place it in such a way that your raider can't now attack the ones they've just replaced. So now you've got a choice. A raider can only attack out of 2 hull zones, so it can either attack out the sides, or the rear, or the front. And they're all spread out in such a way you can't hit them all. Whereas before, if you went to the side, there was a possibility of hitting all of them. Alright, and this is to demonstrate how deadly impetuous with ordnance experts and external racks can be against a blob of A-wing. So let's start off with arcs. Alright, so we've got a double arc on 2 of the A-wings there. Alright, so let's start with the side, attacking this A-wing here. Alright, 1 hit and a blank, re-roll the blank for ordnance experts, so we do 2 damage, that guy's on 2. Alright, let's attack this one. Ordnance experts, 2 damage again. Let's attack Shower Bay. Reroll, 1 damage. The shower will probably scatter that. Alright, so back to now to the front arc. Let's so this is on 2, remember? Okay, 2 damage. So we pretty much delete that guy. Oops. This guy, 2 damage, deleted. Alright. Against this A-wing here. Alright, ordnance experts, 2 damage. Alright, against that A-wing there, 2 damage. Let's attack Tycho, 2 damage, you'd probably scatter that. Alright, now I'll use Impetuous to attack this A-wing, 2 damage, delete. So now we're down to just 3 A-wings out of the original 6. If I was savvy, I would have used external racks maybe against this A-wing and deleted that one as well, depending on the situation. So the other thing raiders are really good at is something called shepherding. So you use your raider to shepherd your own ball of squadrons. So your squadrons may be like a ball of bombers, or have important things such as like your shuttle there for relay, or like some aces like that mortar key there. And you might have an escort as well. So what would happen is the other player would, if they try to jump in and attack your squadron ball, let's say they activate 4 squadrons, they come in, they'll attack your escort, most likely delete your escort and attack a few others. Now, when you activate, your raider will pummel all those squadrons. And if it's impetuous, one of them's dead. Let's say that one. And after your raider moves, your squadrons will have a field day with weakened A-wings. So one trick you can do with the Instigator is use it as a sacrificial lamb to save a much more expensive ship, like say an Imperial Star Destroyer, which is worth 120 points before upgrades, so it will most likely be worth 160 or more. Right, so you have this group of A-wings here, they're attacking this ISD, the ISD is hurting, it needs to get away. So the only way you can do that is, let's say with this raider over here, you do a cheeky squadron command, activate something like a TIE escort, a TIE advance, which has escort, right? Drive it in there, do an attack, whatever it is, and then drive your Instigator into the ball, so everything is in distance 1. You may even run over a few A-wings, if you have to, if you're getting that desperate, so that way they have to be base contact with the A-wing, with the raider, and they are now engaged and can't move. So when you activate the ISD, it can move away freely, and the A-wings are stuck where they are. Now the reason you do the squadron command to get a TIE fighter in there is simply to protect the raider from being attacked by multiple A-wings. You're not going to be able to engage them all. Additionally, you can use that TIE to engage other A-wings that might be able to still attack the Imperial Star Destroyer if it was in range. As with all ships, there are apparent weaknesses, and the Raider is not exempt from them. One of those weaknesses is the fact that it only has 4 hull, which is pretty flimsy. This is further exacerbated by the fact that it does not come with a redirect token. It only has brace and 2 evades. So what this essentially means is if you attack a hull facing, then it's only 2 shields before you get down to the hull, and there's only 4 hulls. So if you do 6 damage and an accuracy, which can happen, that's a Raider destroyed. Seriously, this means that Akbar Corvettes have a chance of one-shotting a Raider if they roll the correct dice. So if you think you are safe by sighting up to a broadside of a Corvette that has Akbar, then think again, because the side will roll, say, something like this with an accuracy, then you'll Akbar in that, and then you'll concentrate fire this, and then the TRC-90 would simply use TRCs to do that. And there we go, accuracy and 6 damage. Even if you only scored 5 on average, maybe the critical will be structural, who knows. Ironically, not having the redirect token also makes the Raider weak against Squadrons. So if a dedicated carrier manages to catch a Raider at long range off guard, this is what could happen. So let's say this MC-80 here activates Squadron Command. We'll say it has a Squadron token, and so that means it can activate 5 A-Wings. So let's go with the first one, into the front. No damage. Alright, the next A-Wing goes into the front, scores 1. The next A-Wing goes in, also to the front, scores 1. The next guy comes in, scores 1. Alright, and the next one comes in, the last one, goes into the front here, rolls, scores 1. So we're down to 2 hull now out of the 6. Alright, now the MC-80 attacks at long range with 3 reds. Alright, 2 damage. Okay, we would probably evade that. Alright, and so in total, I've taken 5 damage out of the 6. So I'm not dead, but I'm hurting. And all it'll take is a sneeze and that Raider's dead. If that one of those A-Wings didn't miss, then that Raider would be dead. So in summary, the Raider Corvette is really good at destroying enemy squadrons, especially those 3 to 4 health squadrons like A-Wings, TIE Fighters and Z95s. If you get them caught into a double arc on your Raider or you have Impetuous, it's the same as selecting them and pressing the delete button. They're also good at shepherding your own squadrons against an enemy squadron attack, and they're good at harassing enemy ships, especially small ships. You have a really high chance of destroying them depending on your build, and if you can get them in the right position onto a large ship, then you'll have a good chance of softening up the large ship or even outright destroying it, depending on how well you've flown it. Now, on the topic of how well you fly these things, now they're not a hard ship to fly, they're just a challenging ship to fly because their effectiveness comes from your ability to time its movements correctly and also place it in the right way that you're going to get the most out of it. So if you get it into the right place at the right time, it's very rewarding. It's going to destroy squadrons, it's going to destroy ships, it's going to weaken large valuable ships. However, if you get caught off guard, it's not as forgiving. That's pretty much a big point sink of 44 points or more. So that's it for the Raider Corvette. I hope this video has been helpful. Good luck in your regionals. Let us know what other captain clinics you'd like to see, and support us on our Patreon page. This is Veteran Captain Ken, signing out.